Ladies and gentlemen, what's good? We're back with another Call of Duty Mobile video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. So, last week we ended up posting our top 5 guns for Season 8 of Call of Duty Mobile. And I said if we hit 15,000 likes on that video, we would do a top 5 guns for Battle Royale as well. You guys hit that goal, so here we are getting ready to hop into these. Now, keep in mind, this is made primarily for the Blackout map, which actually plays significantly differently from how Isolated plays. Primary reasons for that being, I took a poll, and it seems like the majority of people are playing on the Blackout map, and number 2, in my opinion, Blackout is a much better map than Isolated just because of the way that it plays out. It makes for a lot more engagements, and I think the more people that are playing on Blackout, the better. I know some people aren't able to play it because of lag or whatever that is, but overall, these top 5 guns are going to be usable on both maps, but Blackout is the primary one that we're focusing on. If you guys enjoy the video, please do me a huge favor. Make sure to drop a like down below. Make sure to subscribe to the squad if you haven't already. Without any more talking, we're going to go ahead and hop into the countdown. Throughout the entirety of this list, I'm going to try to do my best of giving examples of what you can use for your loadout for these guns, as well as if there's a ground loot option, the different ways you can build out with different mods as well. Going into this, I know what my top 2 guns are, but really everything 3 through 5 has been really difficult for me to decide. So I'm just going to show you paths, time to kill lists for all of these guns in Battle Royale. This is going to list a lot of guns that aren't going to be in my list that are probably really close to making it out there, and depending on how you build it out, could probably be better than some of the guns on here. Thing about Battle Royale is there are so many different factors that go into a gun's effectiveness that it's really difficult for me to choose the top 3 through 5, and there's a couple factors that make it easy for me to choose number 1 and 2. I'm gonna have a couple honorable mentions right here just because it is so difficult for me to choose these top weapons. But our first honorable mention is actually gonna be a gun that dominated COD Mobile Battle Royale for upwards of 2 years, and that's gonna be the AK-47. The AK-47 has finally been dethroned just because of a number of different factors. Number 1, the fact that Blackout is much bigger than Isolate, a lot more open exposed areas. It is gonna be incredibly difficult for an AK-47 to ever be able to outgun a sniper or a marksman rifle at range, and because of all the different mods, it's a lot easier for SMGs to dominate in the close and even mid-range because you can make hip fire so deadly and so accurate. Our other honorable mention is going to go to the Arctic 50, which dominated Battle Royale for a long time and is without a doubt definitely still an incredible option, and really one that if you're an accurate sniper, you can make work really well, especially if you're able to land headshots. The Arctic 50 is not going to make our top 5 list just because there's 2 guns in here that are specifically really strong in specific scenarios that are going to make it so the Arctic 50 has a tough time of winning. Like I mentioned, with the exception being if you're able to land headshots. I actually am going to do one more honorable mention that's going to go to the HS-0405, is that is the only weapon that's going to be able to one-tap in close range, even on somebody who has kinetic armor. The thing is, you have to be incredibly accurate to do this, and if you miss that first shot, more than likely you're going to immediately get outgunned by the SMG that the opponent's using. It's a very high-risk, high-reward gun in much the same way that the Arctic 50 is, where you have to bank on incredible accuracy, and sometimes it'll pay off, but it's not going to be super consistent. If you're a god tier shotgunner, go for it and take the risk. But anyway, hopping into our top 5, at number 5, we've got the Holger. Now, we've got the Holger here for a number of different reasons. The primary reason I don't have it higher on the list is just because the bullet spread accuracy of the gun is not good. So it's going to be really tough for you to hit long range sprays unless you're able to pick up the mythic Holger out of a crate. If you get the mythic Holger, you're pretty much good to go because that thing has ridiculous ADS bullet spread accuracy. So it's a laser beam from any range that you're going to shoot it at. Super strong. Anytime you see that, it's pretty much going to be an instant pickup unless you have one of the alternatives that we got in the top 2, and there's a couple things that can make it better. The Holger is also ground loot, so you can use it at any point in the game. Obviously, it's got 100 bullets, which means you can take a lot of gunfights with it at one time. Now, like I said, not very good ADS bullet spread, but all around very solid time to kill. It's always going to be a good starter weapon in the game. Personally, it's never going to be a primary gun for me to pick up out of a drop just because, like I mentioned, it doesn't have great ADS bullet spread. Even if you build it out for that specifically, obviously the ADS time on it not going to be amazing as well, and you can go back and forth with a couple of different mods. If you're able to get it, I would would get the long range mod, the ADS bullet spread mod, and the horizontal recoil mod for optimal accuracy. Coming up at number 4, this is a gun that got a pretty significant buff, especially when it comes to Battle Royale. You guys might not have seen it be used a whole lot, but the M21, as far as time to kill goes, actually has the potential to be the fastest killing gun in COD Mobile Battle Royale. Its damage got a significant buff in the recent changes, so it's not enough of a buff to make it a one-tap in multiplayer, but because we're dealing off of 250 HP to 300 HP when it comes to Battle Royale, the M21 is actually incredibly powerful. The one big downside to the M21 is that bullet travel is relatively slow for snipers in the game. So if it's a moving target, it's not going to be easy to hit, but it has, if you build it out correctly, pretty much no vertical recoil either. So you can spray a lot of shots in a pretty short amount of time. I believe the Sniper Expert mod works on the gun as well, which means you can shoot it pretty close to full auto, not quite as quick as our number 2 gun on the list, but very, very quickly. And with that time to kill, it's going to be deadly. In case you didn't believe me, here's Path saying that the only weapon that's able to beat the M13 with marksman barrel in regards to time to kill is going to be the M21, and that's going to beat every single gun with time to kill. Now, obviously, that time to kill is being calculated assuming you don't miss a shot, which is a pretty big variable. And that's going to be the main reason the M21 isn't higher on our list. Now, coming in at the number 3 slot, you have a gun that we just mentioned, and that's going to be the M13 with, make sure you got it on there, the marksman barrel. Two things that make the M13 incredibly powerful are going to be its rate of fire and its magazine size. The rate of fire especially does a lot for the M13 because the faster the rate of fire, the less penalty you're going to have for missing a particular shot. So yes, even though the M21 might have the fastest time to kill, it's got more time in between shots than a truly fully automatic weapon. That means missing one shot with the M13 is going to penalize you vastly less than it is with the M21 because that follow-up shot's coming a lot sooner. Combine that with a 60-round mag that doesn't really have a whole lot of penalty, the ability to put on even more bullets with a gold magazine that can add an extra 30 bullets onto the M13. You have an assault rifle that has the magazine of an LMG, decent range, decent time to kill, decent rate of fire. There's no real downside outside of the ADS time. If you're extremely accurate, the M13 can dominate at pretty much any range. Unfortunately, the M13 is not ground loot at the current time, so that is going to hold it back a little bit in that it's not a gun that you're going to always be able to use in the game. Obviously, that's true of the M21 as well, but in my opinion, the M13 is the best all-around gun in Battle Royale right now, and definitely one that you need to give a try. Coming in at the number 2 spot, anyone who's watched any of the tournaments over the past couple weekends is probably not too surprised to see the SKS. Now, some of you might look at the list of time to kills that we just saw and notice that the SKS was not listed anywhere, which might catch you by surprise a little bit. There are two major factors that make the SKS the best long-range weapon in Battle Royale right now. Number 1, the Sniper Expert mod turns the SKS into a fully automatic rifle that just absolutely fires away, and even if you're not accurate, eventually you're going to end up getting lucky and hitting a couple shots, and when that happens, the time to kill gets pretty quick. Like we mentioned before, rate of fire plays a really big role, and when you get that fully automatic SKS, there's not a whole lot that can stop it, especially at long range. But the one factor that really puts the SKS above everything else at long range is the fact that it has a bullet velocity unlike any other weapon in the game. We talked previously about how the bullet velocity of the M21 is one of the things that holds it back in regards to time to kill because it's a lot tougher to hit the shot. The SKS is the closest thing to a hit scan weapon that has ever been in Call of Duty Mobile Battle Royale. A hit scan weapon is one that registers the shot as soon as the shoot button is pressed. It's tough to say whether or not the SKS is truly hit scan or if it just has a bullet travel speed upwards of 2,000 meters per second, but either way, you pretty much don't have to lead your shots at all with the SKS, so even though it's not always going to do the most damage, you have the ability to hit for 48s. At long range, it'll still do headshot damage of about 118, and because it's so much easier to hit moving targets, the SKS makes it absolutely incredible for taking out vehicles, which are going to be one of the more annoying things in Blackout. You don't have to worry about leading your shots, which makes this gun very, very beginner friendly, and once you get a 3-time scope on there, the kills are going to start racking up pretty quickly. Even the ground loot SKS is really, really good because you can actually throw a red dot on it, which makes it feel really nice in the mid-range, but obviously, ideally, you want to have a 3 to 4 time scope on it, which you can pick up off the ground as well. On an ideal SKS build, I would recommend trying to get the legendary Sniper Expert, vertical recoil mod, and an extended mag. The long-range mod can work well as well, but obviously, the primary thing you want to focus on is being able to consistently hit shots. And coming in at number 1, we've got the gun that's probably been seen a whole lot in multiplayer as well. It's going going to be the MX9. You can see right here, Path calls the MX9 the 19-meter warrior, and especially with how common it is as ground loot, it's a gun that you're going to be able to use pretty much for the entirety of the game. It's got a larger base magazine size than pretty much any other SMG. On top of that, the attachments that you can put on it have very little downside to make it have ridiculously accurate hip fire. In Battle Royale, I would actually recommend putting on the hybrid mag instead of the large cal, just because you're not going to be able to consistently hit headshots, and that reload time combined with the extra magazine size is going to do more for you in Battle Royale than it is in multiplayer. The large cal also has a downside in that it slows down the sprint to fire speed, which is going to be a really big factor when playing around tight quarters in Battle Royale. When building it out with mods, I would recommend going for the hip fire mod, the range mod, and the extended mag mod. It is an absolute hip fire beast, and especially with hip fire being more accurate in Battle Royale than it is in multiplayer, the fact that this is an SMG gives it even more of an advantage over guns like the M13 in the close range. Obviously, once you get back to 19 meters, it can still beam, not quite as quickly as it would before, but still going to be viable. And once you get back to the 30-meter ranges, that's where you want to be using your SKS anyway, which is why the MX9 SKS combo is one that you've seen so much throughout the season. But that is going to wrap up our top 5 guns in COD Mobile Battle Royale. Let me know down in the comments. I'm sure we've got a lot of differing opinions. I'm excited to see what you guys think of the list and potentially to see how it evolves with the new adjustments that we've had in COD Mobile Battle Royale. But that's going to be it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below. Make sure to subscribe to the squad if you guys haven't already, and we'll see you guys next time.